I already mentioned that if I repeat myself, please overlook me. Because some of this stuff that I wrote in my journal, I actually wrote a couple times because I forgot that I had written it. But I'm going to finish this up. There was a greater purpose for all of this than what I realized, because I felt like I thought that everything was over, that I had come through this great trial and it was over. But God wasn't done. I got another revelation a day or so afterwards. And somebody else may need to hear this. Well, not may. Somebody else does need to hear this. So one of the things that I came to realize out of this that I didn't know. I mean, I have been in and out of therapy intermittently for a very long time. I'm just going to read from my journal right here and finish this up. So I came to the revelation. I got a revelation that I keep losing my place. So I was saying I cannot get out of this rut unless God gets me out. I was stuck. And then I realized that all the jobs that I was applying for, I mean, I wasn't applying for them because, number one, I don't have a bachelor's degree. And most of the jobs that I saw that I wanted to, that I would like to have, I'm not qualified for them. And I realized whether I'm qualified or not, he still got to make it happen. It's all really, he is the one that makes it happen. So whether I'm qualified naturally or not, he can make it happen. And I realized that there is no job that could fulfill me like what I was looking for. I could find the best job in the world, but if he doesn't bless it, then it's still not going to be fulfilling. And I'm still going to have a void that I'm trying to fill. And then one of I think the major revelation that I got out of this that I had to really, really repent for. I realized that I was actually very controlling. That was the point that God was trying to get across to me. I actually realized, because I started praying for people when I came up out of that pit I was in. I started praying for people. But you know what I realized? I was praying, asking God to fix it. Then I was trying to tell him how to fix it. So that was like I don't know, like something got knocked upside my head. It's like, girl, you praying and asking God to work a miracle, but Lord, this is what I want you to do. And so I realized that that's what he was trying to get to me the whole time, is that I had a problem. I'm thinking you got a problem because you doing this, that, and the other to me, but I still actually had the problem. Part of trauma, one of the things that happens when we experience trauma is this is the revelation I got. We try to control everything around us. And I did not realize that ever. This was news to me, that I actually tried to control stuff around me, but it was because of the trauma, because you try to control stuff to prevent from being hurt, is basically what it boils down to. So I wrote in here that I was asking God, because I realized that, number one, I cannot change myself. And there are a lot of things about myself that I absolutely despise. But I realized that there is absolutely nothing, I cannot do it if he doesn't do it. And that's the thing that I had to, Lord, if you don't do this, if you don't change me, I can't do nothing about it. I'm just going to be in the same place, a wretch undone. One of the things that drives women, not just women, but anybody, to, when we come out of when we're involved in narcissistic relationships, basically what gets us in those relationships is we're trying to fill a void. And it's the same with alcohol, drugs, men, women, whoremongering, whatever. We're trying to fill a void that only God can fill. Because, you can go through men, you can go through women, you can be on drugs, alcohol. You're going to still face that same thing, the same problem when you wake up. He is the only one that can fill that void. And I believe that void is in all of us, because that's what causes us to seek him, seek more. And he's the only one that can fill that void. I had to accept responsibility for the condition of my life. And nobody else was responsible. Yes, some terrible things happened to me my whole life. But the decisions that I made, I put myself in the position. I chose wrong, or wrongly. I realized that I owed a lot of people apologies. And so that when I got the revelation, I just wrote down the people, and they were the people closest to me. I wrote their names down, and I contacted all of them, including my ex-husband. And I apologized to them. I'm not making excuses for the damage that was, I'm not taking the accountability from my ex-husband because I was abused, and there's never any excuse for that. However, I had to own my part of the problems in our marriage. I didn't realize I was controlling, but I was. So before, even though I felt like I had come through the hardest trial in my life, and that at this point, because what I realized is every time I felt like that God was getting ready to launch me into the ministry that he gave me a vision of back in the early 90s, none of that stuff has come to pass yet. And I thought it was this, that, and the other, the reasons why I hadn't been launched into ministry, when actually it was because I wasn't prepared. That there was still problems within myself. It wasn't external. It wasn't what this person did to me. This person rejected me. This person did that to me. There was stuff in me that had to be corrected before he put me into ministry. And I actually prayed that years and years and years ago, that I prayed, God, if there's anything in me that I'm not aware of. This is when I was a Miss Goody Two Shoes. This is before I fell into sin. He knew it was going to happen. I couldn't imagine that I would ever be in some of the sin that I got into. Never. Never. Because I was a spiritual snob. But I firmly believe that's why he allowed, he didn't cause it, but I believe that's why he allowed me to go through that humbling experience, so that I could identify with others, because there was a time, I've always been very innocent minded, very gullible. And I'm praying to God take that, because being gullible and naive, that gets you taken advantage of. I'm praying for godly wisdom now. Well, I always have, but I've just always been very innocent minded. And that actually is an attraction. I was looking up what makes us like narcissistic magnets, what draws narcissists to us. And I believe it's the innocence within us. that draws them to us.